All right, today we got a special one for you today. We got Troy Designs GasGas SSR team owner Steve Sims in the house. How you doing today, Steve?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Just getting close to Christmas and another Friday gone.
Yeah, man. I know you're probably always on the grind, man. You're always busy. It's probably never a dull moment with you going on, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's always something going on between race team and family and riding and Gopher opening up yesterday, so
Mm.
threw a day of riding in there with the boys, and yeah, there's always something on the go.
Right on. How'd it go yesterday?
It was good. I mean, what was it, December
December.
16th? You can't complain about what the track conditions and just getting out to ride. Anytime you can get out to ride is just a good day.
That is true. That is true. So tell me a little bit about yourself, man. I don't know too much about you, but tell me a little bit about you prior to even owning any race teams. Were you a mechanic? Did you ranch? Were you a pro racer? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of was always into the mechanical side of things. My dad was a farm equipment mechanic and just tinkered with whatever. When we got stuff, we just worked on it together, lawnmowers, snowblowers, whatever. And then kind of came high school, and I had to decide what I wanted to do. And I was riding bikes, and kind of figured I needed to find a way to make money. Because riding a dirt bike wasn't going to do it for me. So I kind of took into the looking for a shop that would take me, and that turned into being a lot harder thing than I ever thought it would be. And I lucked out. I got one gentleman, Bill Burr. Um, kind of hadn't took apprentice or anything in years, and I went out and visited him. He kind of said, "I don't think you want to do this," and gave me lots of reasons not to. And I kind of sat there and we talked some more. And he said, "Come back in a week and let me know what you think."
Hmm.
And I went back and I worked for him after that for I would say a better part of 10 years.
Oh wow.
And that's kind of where it came. With him, he was supporting a bunch of riders himself, Jay Burke, and he'd Rob McCullough, Jill Sarretts. There was a whole lot of guys he was helping back in the day. So Joel needed help back in would have been '02 or '03, I think '03, and Joel asked me to go to the nationals with him. So it's kind of where it started was with Bill, and then from there it went to Joel, and from there it just kind of built on to Rob McCullough, Jay Burke, and a bunch of those guys, and then I landed with Andre on the OTSF Rockstar team back in 2005 or 2006. And then I was on and off with him up till they shut the team down there 2 years ago. So,
And,
um,
and when did you say, you know what, I've had enough of just kind of working, doing, wrenching for everybody else and kind of work for everybody else, and you said I want to do my own race team. How did that come about?
I mean, for, I don't know, probably the last 5 or 6, 7 years, I knew at some point OTSF wasn't going to stay around forever. They had a long run in it. And Andre had found new love in his off-road truck stuff, and that was awesome. I mean, he gets to drive the truck and have fun in it, and gets to take his family and be involved with it all. So I mean, I kind of seen it quite early. I think that that was kind of a direction I felt he was going to go, and I kind of was, when it happened, I'm like, well, let's go for it. So I just kind of started making phone calls immediately. I think it was probably within 1 or 2 hours of getting off the phone with Andre. I kind of started making phone calls and talking to people and seeing if they thought I was completely nuts or just a little bit nuts. And within a few months, we had a team basically put together, and it kind of rolled through into the 21 season there. It was a
Okay.
little bit difficult with COVID, but JetWorks pulled it off. The team pulled it off, and we're going to head into year two stronger than we were year one. So that was the ultimate goal.
Right on, right on. That's good news, man. That's good to hear. Especially starting from like the grid of everything. You probably didn't even know where this was gonna end up. And now you're running your own operation, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I had made calls to other teams. I had made to just go and work as a mechanic again. Lots of things ran through my head. Do I just take my own shop things more serious and do it full time? I like the racing. I like the atmosphere. I like going to the track. I like that whole adrenaline rush. So I wanted to be involved in moto for a while longer at least and see where it went. I wasn't ready to give it up. And Yeah, I mean that's kind of where it was. I'd called a bunch of the teams and all that kind of stuff to kind of see what was available, and while calling manufacturers and other people to see what kind of support I could rally up. And I felt like it had to get done in 21, or I was going to lose contact with all the sponsors that OTSF had built with the team over the years. And um, it just kind of fell into place. I mean, it couldn't have worked any better for the most part. I mean, starting a new team with virtually nothing isn't easy for anybody, and COVID didn't make it any easier. I had to buy a
Yeah,
truck, a trailer, all the equipment,
yeah,
bikes, line all that kind of stuff all up with GasGas. So meeting lots of new people to make it all work, and yeah, we pulled it off. So
that's good,
see where
man.
22 takes us and on.
Right on. Now let me ask you this: so when you start putting everything together and everything started coming together, now you started calling all the manufacturers and stuff like that to make deals, and you landed the ride with GasGas. Is this something that you guys are kind of contracted out, or is this like a bike of preference, or that you chose that you wanted to run for the year?
No, I had reached out to a bunch of them. I had obviously reached out to Yamaha, I did Suzuki. I had talked to KTM about even possibly a Husky deal, and then the GasGas thing kind of came up um, pretty much out of nowhere. And I honestly I thought pretty far with Suzuki. I thought we were going to start to do bigger talks, and it kind of fell on its face just out of nowhere.
Hmm.
A few of us had put a lot of time into it, including one of the guys over there, and it just seemed like it hit one guy after that, and it just fell on its face. So the gas thing kind of came. It's a contracted deal with them, and I run it through a dealer, and they supply some parts, and it's a good deal. So I mean, all I can ask for is we keep going and keep building,
There you go.
and someday maybe be as successful as OTSF and go for Dunes and those guys.
Right on, man. Yeah, you got to lay a solid foundation first and build from that on, that way
Yeah.
on up, man. That's wrong. Well, I want to congratulate you for actually putting in the effort and hard work and even commending the team. I know that's hard. It's like when I was younger, when I did a lot of racing, I've always kind of wanted to race for a team. I always, but in my later years, I was like, man, I would love to get a team, but I've never put the effort into even seeing how to a team has even started. I was always kind of on the sidelines, and I had friends who ride for teams and stuff like that. But man, I definitely commend you for actually just putting all the effort in and raising a team as far as you gotten so far. Now, how do you go about selecting your riders? I mean, you just look for guys who are just need contracts that to catch your eye, or guys who don't have contracts, or how do you go about, and how many riders do you have on the team going?
Yeah, I mean the rider thing's always a tough thing. Everybody wants to make money. It's a natural thing. Everybody needs money to live. The team needs money to survive. The team needs money to get to the races. So it's a very touchy spot for a lot of people.
Okay.
What people think they deserve, what they can get, what the team can supply and give. It's always a big a big push and shove, kind of when it comes to that. But gainers have always, they built a kind of a foundation with me, getting parts and stuff. Jeff works his butt off here at the shop with me, and I mean, half of what I've done with the new team here is because of Jeff. He spends nights here till 2, 3 in the morning, and
Mm-hmm.
drives back there. And during the summer, gets up in the morning, goes to work, and comes back that evening. Grabs pizza on the way up, and he's a huge part to this. And I mean, that's a big part to me. I mean, he helps, and I mean Sam works hard and gives me the best he can give me. So I mean that's something you can't pass up. He's
Yeah.
good with the fans. He was good with you at Walton.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff plays into factor for me. Ultimately winning is really nice, but a guy that wins and never shows his face in the public eye doesn't always do it for me either. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you have to be pretty dominant to be able just to walk away and not sign posters and all that kind of stuff in my
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah. You got a good
So
foundation going on, man. You got a good circle. I have to say, good group of guys who got a lot of good energy around in your circle, and that keeps things going for sure.
yeah, I've lucked out there good. I've got Yuri. He helped me a lot. He worked as a mechanic all summer. He helped me in the winter. We built a trailer. A couple of my good buddies came over. We bought a trailer. We gutted it. They built all the cabinets and CFF Stainless gave me the stainless tops, and Jay Burke for fabricating stuff, and Brendan Train doing all the cabinetry stuff. It's just Andrew White helping me with sponsorship stuff. I mean, there's such a good group of guys around me that it just when I call them and ask them for help, they're willing to step in and give the help, and that
That's
goes a long way.
it. Does it
So
does right on. Now, do you have? I'm not sure if you can discuss this or you even want to discuss this, but do you have all your riders set up for next year?
tentatively, yes.
Okay.
I haven't signed them yet,
Hmm.
but everything is kind of in line. We've talked with them and everything, so probably the next week here leading up to Christmas, I got to sit down and finalize contracts, and
Okay.
should be set by Christmas here, and then hopefully early New Year's do a release to it.
Are you going to be running East and West Coast?
Yeah, we're gonna go all the way. So JetWorks wants to do the three West rounds for outdoors, and then I think it's where the 5 rounds, 5 weekends east.
Mm.
So yeah, we're in for all those, and then see where the Supercross Arena Cross schedule goes towards the end of the year.
Right on, right on. That's good to hear, man. That's some good news. Um, this is kind of like not even really a side question, but it's kind of been in the media lately with the talk of all these electric bikes that's coming out. You had like Kawasaki make their statement a while back saying they're going all electric. I forget what year it is, but they're saying they're going to go all electric. KTM has been kind of doing their thing a little bit back in the days with their slash MX bicycle slash MX bike. Honda, has put out a prototype. Um, Now you got companies like Stark, that's kind of been in the headlines lately. What is your feel on these e-bikes? Are you for them? Are you against them? Or where do you stand with these things?
I've had a lot of conversations this week with a few people about these electric bikes, and I think they're awesome. They're going to open up a lot of stuff, places that you can ride closer to town, all that kind of stuff, which is cool. A lot of the talks veer back into automotive stuff, cars and stuff. At some point, it is going to be the thing, but I think we're a ways out from really making a big push yet. I could be wrong, but I mean, this new bike that came out, it's got some pretty big statements
Yeah,
in their
yeah,
release. So I'm interested to see when the public hands get on them how much of it is true. Because I mean, man, if it's true, like there's some serious technology in there that
yeah.
a lot of automotive manufacturers haven't been able to find yet. So
Wow.
between battery power and battery life and charge
Yeah.
times and stuff like that. So it's good, but I mean, at the other side, I look at it like it's going to be hard for tracks to find the budgets to put in charging stations and update their
Absolutely.
hydro to all of a sudden accept three, four, 500 motorcycles to go on charge on a race weekend, or even if you have VIP spots and you try to do 100 of them. I mean, that's a lot of power
Yeah.
getting sucked
Yeah.
all of a sudden out of your grid,
Yeah.
off your property. So I mean, I'm not sure any track in Canada is even set up
Hmm.
to be able to house 100 bikes on their power on their property right off the get go. So I think that's something that's going to take a while. And I mean, I'm a big fan of the E5. I have
Hmm.
one here for my daughter. It's awesome that it's a full size bike. You can tune it down with a push of a button. You're not
Hmm.
throwing her on a gas 50 and watching them loop out and never want to ride a motorcycle again. So the mini side, I'm a huge fan of that. That's a huge thing I think for the growth of the sport.
Yeah.
The tunability, the ease of just tuning it down, but allowing the kids to be on a full size motorcycle in a 50 class.
Yeah.
Um, but I ride around and I got to laugh when I'm watching these electric bikes getting charged by these old champion generators, burning more fuel than we would have burnt in a full tank of gas for a kid to ride most of the day.
Yeah.
So I think there's room and there's a lot of improvements that are going to happen. I think before it really takes over.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of caught in between. I like to see the innovative side of it, but at the same time, I'm a combustion engine guy. I like to hear the noise of a four-stroke or a two-stroke ripping around the track. I don't know if it's just me being stubborn. I'll probably be one of the guys to accept them, but I'll probably be one of the last man standing to be to finally say, okay, I'm ready for them. I just feel
Yeah.
like, for me personally, I feel like maybe AMA or whoever is going to change some rules and allow these things in, and then maybe a factory rider will get on a bike and that's going to promote them. It's kind of like when the four strokes came in to me, when everybody was riding two strokes. And then when they start putting all the fast guys on the four strokes, four strokes, you got a guy on there, they sell. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's going to help it out quite a bit. But at the same time, I think regulations as far as emissions and all that is probably going to be dwindled down within that time period as well. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for guys to even go out and ride their four stroke and two strokes at the
Yeah.
same time. So I'm kind of like, I'm for them, but I'm against them at the same time.
I mean, half the excitement. I mean, you watch the guys and you get to hear the bike, and I believe part of the thrill is the sound of the bike. I mean, we went
Yes.
through this with snowcross, and they've been allowed aftermarket silencers just to let them get the sound that the spectators and most fans want to hear, that raspy rap
Yes.
sound out of the sled. So I think to take that away and watch 40 electric bikes go around the track, a part of me is like, man, that's kind of going to make it boring.
Yeah.
But evolution happens, and you know, the new generation takes to it, and
Yeah.
I mean that's all it is. I mean,
Yeah.
and next thing we know, two strokes, four strokes are a thing of the past, and they're those nice bikes that are sitting in everybody's shop that we only take out once in a while.
Nah,
So
that is true. So you're all ready. Besides contracts, you ready to get everything dialed in for the 2022 season? Getting
yeah,
closer.
we're well underway with most sponsorships and that. So just finally finalizing some of those. Bunch of them are on board. We've got a couple new ones that we'll be excited to announce here come the new year. There's a couple of really cool ones coming up, so we're excited to land those, and we'll continue to push just to keep finding new sponsors.
Right
So
on, man. That's what you got to do, man.
we've made a big push to go outside the industry to get it, and we've got a couple this year that is pretty exciting. So in the early 22, we'll start announcing these.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. I'll be sitting back waiting to hear what you got coming for 2022, man. I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just having a talk with I had a privateer guy on an interview on Friday it was, and he's a true privateer. He's been in the game for about 9-10 years now, as a pro, and he pulls in all his sponsors every year. But it's never like none of the mainstream sponsors. He's always finding outsourced sponsors and bringing them to the table, and I think that's a good thing because it allows room for development, and it allows outside sponsors to come in and be noticed, and be able to support, a motocross team, like yourself and what you're doing, man. So I'm excited to see who you got bringing to the table for 2022, man. Definitely.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely not easy. I mean, the outside people outside our sport. I mean, just trying to get in contact with somebody that you can actually speak to outside of a auto response on Instagram or an auto reply or whatever in emails. That's half the battle. I mean,
Hmm.
trying to crack through that and find somebody that you can actually get on a phone call or go meet or you send an actual proper email with a proposal to them to even
Yes.
start the talks properly. This seems to be at least our hardest part.
Okay.
You seem to be able to get the contact, but it's always just an auto reply and we're out of office and we'll get back to you. And
Uh,
it just never goes anywhere. So some of them take a long time just to crack through, just to find one person you can get talking to.
mhm.
So
So what is it like in Steve Sims' life besides moto, besides working, besides what goes on in your life?
I mean, I believe I'm pretty much moto. Like if I'm not working in the shop, I'm doing a little bit of working out. I'm not a guy that looks like I work out, but I do some stuff. And man, if I'm not in there doing one of those two things, I'm working on my bike or somebody else's bike, or I'm at the track. Um, that's a huge part of my life. It's given me pretty much everything I have today. Um, so that's what I do. It's
Hmm.
motocross and ride, train, play, work, and that's pretty much all moto.
Sounds like a good
So
life, man.
I try.
Hey, life's about having fun and enjoying it, man. So you got, especially doing something that you love to do, man. It's a beautiful thing to be able to work in. And you may get burned out. I don't know, you may get burned out of working sometimes, like people do. It's just natural. You put in so many hours, you need a point of time to be able to relax and kind of rejuvenate and get that power back going again. But it seems like motocross is that, and you got a full circle going on with yourselves, man. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean anybody that knows me well or close to me, when things are tough, all I care to do is get on my bike and I go, and it kind of just clears the mind, lets me go, and I got a good group of guys that we ride with, and a bunch of them are the same way. So when we get out, it's just a good time, some beers afterwards, and on to work the next morning again. But yeah,
Hmm.
moto's kind of the mind clearing thing for me. So
I
yeah.
see. I see you out there, Moto, and making your deliveries in that Troy Lee design Santa Claus gear you got going on.
Yeah, no, I wish I could say that was me and I was that fast, but that was uh that was a trimmed down Santa, I guess.
There was another video though. I don't know if it was you, but it was almost like a circle track that was going, kind of going back around. I thought that might have been you on that one, but it was prior to the video you posted.
Yeah, no, that was all Santa.
Oh, that was okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Santa's getting warmed up. I take it he's doing all right with that wrist, huh?
Yeah, he's gotta figure out how to get around quick, right? So
Yeah.
the day's coming, and
Yeah.
he's got to get around quick. So
Yeah.
he's
Right
gonna
on.
get there.
Right on. Well, Steve, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, man. I know you're a busy man, and it's Friday, and Christmas is around the corner. Um, I was kind of out Christmas shopping and stuff like that. I came back in and kind of do my interview with you, man. And I appreciate your time and coming on to the show. I'd love to have you back, man, once that season gets kicked off to see how you're doing. Maybe one day I'll get out there and go riding with you guys, man. I could spend a couple laps doing that, just kind of enjoying you guys' company, being around your energy. It'd be a pleasure to do something like that. And
Yeah.
thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. And is there anybody you want to thank? Anybody, any sponsor you want to plug before we wrap this thing up?
This one, I'm gonna get in trouble for this one because
Oh
I hammer
shit.
Sam and the boys all the time. But man, there's a lot. I mean, there's the TLD crew, Cody, Max, Troy himself, Dave. Um, there's so many of them down there that nobody up here ever hear about.
Mhm.
Um, the whole, I mean, Sunoco, Motul, Oakley, the guys around here that let us ride the tracks and just rip the place up and just love it. They have train station. Bill Gillespie over there, he lets us ride whenever we want to, and there's just so many of them
I can imagine.
that I mean, Sam said them all a bunch of times now, so I'll kind of leave it at that. But
I,
Sunoco, Motul, Pirelli, um, you know, they're all huge
right on.
parts of this, and I can't wait to add these other ones to 2022.
Right on. Well, I want to thank you, Steve, man. You're a special guest today, man. I appreciate you giving us your knowledge and giving us your stories behind everything that's going on in your arsenal and then and what you're doing, man, and what you're bringing to the sport. So I highly appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having all of us on, and hopefully we can do some more and get going all summer and keep your show going.
Love to, man. And I thank you for the support, man. Appreciate it.